Greetings, family. Welcome to my digital empire. This is the Mantra Woman Key. It's good to have you here. So, this morning, the thing about me, once I start creating, I just keep on creating all the time. I hope you know that about me already because I've been away for a long time. Now I'm back. I'm in this creative cycle once again, I think. Right now, my the state of consciousness I am in can be described as expansion. So when I'm contracting within myself, when I am feeling my traumas and my emotional body so active to a point of breaking down mentally, I'm not creating anything, and I don't like faking it. I'm not hired by the government or anything. It's my thing. So I do it when I do it, and I don't when I don't. So, anyways, this morning I woke up and I was thinking about racism, like actually not racism, but anti-racism. And I have always identified myself as an anti-racist because racism is not, even though it was introduced by white people against black people. Nowadays, there are so many black people who are also racist against white people. So for me, it's like a disease. Honestly speaking, it's a disease that we have to heal in all of us. It started back in days, but you could claim to be free-spirited person who just a humanitarian who wants to be connected to life on a greater level, and still there you might have a racist deep within you that you will not know, that you will not understand until you sit down and meditate, until you devote your time for understanding yourself. I mean, regarding self love, for example, the routine that's being preached that's related to self love is just going to spa, like putting cucumber on your eyes and sleeping on a bench and stuff like that. For me, the ultimate self love is described with how much time you're investing, how much energy you're investing in understanding yourself. So, meeting my twin flame and him being European, the people who came up with the idea of colonization, the Portuguese and Spain, me being from Ethiopia, the country that's never been colonized and yet taken responsibility for all of Africa, because all of Africa have been colonized. All of these polarities, if you know about twin flames, and the twin flame journey is all about balancing the polarities, the duality that's also a part of life, right? So I'm not surprised I'm black and he's white, because the twin flame union is all about uniting the world back into itself, creating harmony, and I have always known that it's my mission. On top of that, also, like, hanging out with white people, and also like taking part in the big festival that happened last week. All of this had shown me actually how far deeper racism can go, and it's also even apparent. It's in our genes. My ancestors were so mad at white people, so they held grudges. That mentality, that limiting belief that white people are evil, white people are always racist, they're always biased, they're always taking advantage, they're arrogant, whatever was in their DNA. No doubt that it's transferred to me through my genetics. you know Mind stuff like spirituality takes you out of your mind and show you things from a higher perspective. So people just think that they're not racist because they say they're not racist, or something like that. But if it's deep within you, if it's something that's like ancestral, if it's something that you grew up seeing and hearing about, no doubt that you are showing those behaviors unconsciously. You are showing those behaviors subconsciously. For me, the words are less significant when someone is racist and they try to be nice and polite. Your words are insignificant. I'm feeling your energy and I know where you're coming from. Even at the festival, there were people that I was connected to spiritually. Even I see them and I know them to be my soul group, one in my soul group. So I was like, I recognize the oneness that we have among us. Yet at some point, I would see a reaction Like, for example, sharing my life story means sharing everything about it. I don't hold back things. I don't try to impress anyone as far as I'm concerned. So when I share my struggles, as a smart African woman, as an intelligent person who have always been striving to be a better being, when I share my story with some white people, for example, the pattern that I saw is the first emotion they experience is guilt. They take responsibility for me not having the opportunities that I deserve to have because I'm African. And that tells me a lot. That tells me a lot about being human. They don't even know that they're experiencing guilt, but then they feel like you're asking them to fix your problems, which is not the case. Like the reason why we are deaf to our struggles is because we assume responsibility immediately and we feel as though we have to do something about it. But it's not always the case. At least it's not my intention. If you feel like you have to do something about it, you can. But that's not my intention when I share it with you. Since you are in Africa, experiencing the country and the people, as an African woman, I have to share my truth. I have to tell you some of the things that I know. It's just, especially if I'm connected to you spiritually, that I must do it, right? So the end up suggesting like some things, what if you don't do this, that, what if the transaction is not fully alive? I would see the games, that like I would see the games. And also like some Pan-African black people on the other side of things. Pan-African is artists in Africa or all other parts of the world. How they understand Pan-Africanism is hating on white people, hating on everything about white people, like demonizing white people. You understand? So I'm not in any of these positions right now because I am a humanitarian wanting to harmonize this world, wanting to create a greater harmony and especially living a better world, living a less stressing and more beautiful world for the generations to come. And the reason why I want to have children and I don't want to have children at the same time is because of the relationship I have with this world. So this morning I woke up and I thought about anti racism. Just because you say that you're not racist is not enough anymore. And we have to call them out. We have to spot these behaviors in our friends, in ourselves. Especially if you are black, holding grudge on what happened in the past. What happened after, before centuries. We're not in that time. There are so many white folks who are like genuinely concerned, who want to genuinely connect, who want to genuinely serve Africa. And I know who they are, like, I mean, I've met a few, not all of them, of course, but I've met a few. And there are black people who are really like loving of all humans, regardless of the color of your skin. So simple things such as this, the color of the skin, gender. Why do I want to empower women is because I know what the contract of the construct of gender. I know how the impression that I'm a woman is much different from the impression that someone is a man. I know these differences: color, race, gender, background, geographical background, location. All of these things are the things that stand between us and will not allow us to come together for one purpose, will not allow us to share unconditional love because we are stuck in our mind where we are noticing these differences despite our souls are wanting to love one another, wanting to stand together. So, anti racism is very important. I preach it at this moment because it's very important. Just because you say you are not a racist doesn't make you not racist. You could be a racist saying you are not racist. You could be that person deep within you because of your history, because of your ancestors. How my mother have felt while she was pregnant, while she was carrying me in her womb, affects my growth, affects the way I see the world. How she has felt during that time, I have felt it too. That's how much your ancestral lineage, your generational background, your parents, society that you grew up in affects you. It's not about now you are growing grown up and now you are traveling, you are open, you are free spirited person. It's not about that. If you saw black people treated like animals and like low class citizens when you are growing up, no doubt it's a part of your programming. And the question is, what are you doing about it? If you grew up in a village where the elders of Africa held a grudge against the white man, and they told you white men are superior than us, for example. Even to think white men are superior than Africans or black people is racism on its own, because you don't understand the truth. You understand me? So it's all about opening ourselves up to the truth and seeing the truth for what it is, and spotting such behavior, such reaction whenever we see them, you know? Me right now, I didn't tell the people who were racist against me, like toward me at the festival, for example, you know, I didn't tell them that you are a racist, you are this, you are that, because those people were just passengers. They were passing by. Maybe if time connects us together in another time, um, I might tell them how I felt, but it's just simply my observation that I did for myself. And also now I'm sharing it with you. But all in all, it's very important that we write about it. It's very important that we talk about it, because you know how we are influencing each other, like based on color, gender, and things like that. It's very detrimental. It's very dangerous. Me, like I said in some of my other videos, for me, what I do is more about the next generation than the now generation. Um, I think it's a very like we're somewhere in between the old times and the new time that's birthing itself right now. So it's like the exact time in the history of human beings where we're choosing to be saved or to die, you know. I mean, when I say death, it's not about the physical death. There is also a spiritual death. And you know, it's possible that like I heard it from Jordan Peterson for the first time, but my intuition later on confirmed it. So somehow you might not be saved, you know. You might exit like existence in general. You might not even like uh you might go into oblivion, you know, if you choose it, because our free will is like can stretch itself to that extent. I'm so happy that I'm a soul on a mission, expressing herself, living in freedom right now, because I know that I have done so much work in past lives to get here, and I'm so happy, you know. It's a big deal that you are alive in this moment. It's a miracle on its own, because it took a lot of battle from your ancestors. It took a lot of survival skills, hunting and gathering, and like, you know, inventing fire and shit. All of these things happened so you can be here. So it's not for me something that I take for granted. But when I see errors in the human conditioning, you know, I have to talk about it. If I don't talk about it, I'm not fulfilling my soul's mission. So, you know, I made a video about white people. It was titled The Truth About White People. I have deleted it because it was right for the time, for the consciousness I had at the time, and also for the personal experience of being discriminated against and treated like I don't worth anything. I don't worth success. You know, that's how I was treated. And no feelings are wrong. Whatever you are feeling, it's right for the time. uh, but like we grow out of some reactions and emotions, and then we are bringing ourselves back to the truth, and like starting to have higher perspectives when we are on top of the spiral, and when we are seeing ourselves and others for who they are. So I got to that point, and I have to say that I some of the truth that I said in that video are still truth for me, but some of the things that I said also, they don't make sense to me right now, because I'm a little bit biased in how I expressed myself in that video. You know, I was also reactive because it made me feel so a lot of pain for the collective and for myself, you know. And it showed me that experience, how racism is bad, and how racism is not just in words, and how racism is not just in rules and regulations. It's more of energetic than it is, it's more of spiritual and energetic than it is physical. And I see it because I can, because I have like my gift, my special gift is my awareness, you know. I am aware of things, like it's just my awareness is very much uh I have this sense of awareness. Sometimes it's just, you know, it's amazing how I get everything. It's just like I can see the whole picture, the whole package, and that's just my gift, I would say. So what I'm wanting right now is to unite the world back to itself, and how I do it is not by hating on white people or by just magnifying their weakness and missing their strength, because later on, after making that video and stuff, I have met a lot of white folks who made me question my belief, my limiting belief that I had for a long time, that white people are inconsiderate of other people's opinions. White people are arrogant and entitled. I could still see it. I still see it in some white people, that pattern, but it's not any different than the pattern I see in black people also, of holding grudges and victimize mindsets, like victimhood and stuff like that. And none of these are healthy. In society, we were told if you are tolerating a lot of things, you are a good person. And if you are standing out for yourself, you are a bad person, which is not true, right? So you can see on the spectrum, on the on two sides of this spectrum, you could see like the dysfunctionality of everything, the dysfunctionality of how stupid it is to measure someone's well-being, to measure someone's essence based on their color, their gender, their age. All of this is just all of these differences I have with my twin flame, by the way. And that's why right now I am more truthful, I am more insightful and understanding than I ever was. And also, in this process of healing, like I was healing for a long time now, but now it's like I am integrating all of the lessons I had in my path before the beginning of the new chapter. So this is the best of me that I'm sharing with you now. This is the best thing that I can say right now. We have to be anti-racist, whether you are black or white. You have to be anti-racist. You have to be able to spot it in others and to communicate with each other openly. How did our ancestors affect us? And this generation, in that festival, all of us were open, all of us were beautiful souls. And yet all these little differences, like age, like color and stuff, we're getting in between. Once there was a lot of unconditional love in my heart. My heart was so full in that moment, especially on Saturday. My heart was so full. The music was so good, Yet, like I couldn't miss it, because I was aware of the moment. I was aware of everyone. I couldn't help myself from seeing these little differences getting in between the unconditional love we are sharing. If we go past these limitations, I'm sure that we will be able to work together, to grow together, to have a more meaningful and exciting life together, regardless of our background, gender, age, color. All of this doesn't matter for the soul. All of this doesn't matter on a grander scale. These are just lessons, these are just part of the game that we have to see and acknowledge and move past. That's just something that I want to share. So I am introducing and labeling myself as an anti racist, and you can be anti racist or just non racist, but still, if you have some racism, like the feeling of racism, like unconditional, unconscious reaction or subconscious judgment towards like different color, I hope you are going to sit with it. I hope you are going to correct it inside you so it can be corrected on the outside. Every little choices that we are making is affecting the world. And all I want to do is for all of us to be better beings, better individuals. I love you guys. Have a blessed day. See you in the next video. Rastafari.